Good afternoon and good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel and coffee stream number 162. And it's Wednesday, so we're back with another Wednesdays with Skep. How are you, my friend?
Oh, it's good to be with you today. I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well. I stayed up. I was on the Minion show last night and stayed up talking with my reprobate friends, Chaos Eve, SDA, and Prospero, and we talked till like 2 o'clock in the morning. It was like a dorm room bullshit session.
That's okay, dude. I had a bout of insomnia last night. I could not get to sleep. I didn't get to sleep until 3.
Oh,
I listened to the last half of Minions
oh, you did?
while
Okay.
I laid in bed for the first little bit, and
Mhm.
then I went and played some Mortal Kombat for an hour.
Good
And
for
then I
good.
went and laid down again and put
You know,
on
I,
a
I
put
was
on an audiobook and was able to fall asleep. So
I was telling Brenda about. I was telling my wife about that. I was saying, Blind Press is a gamer, and she said she's blind. How does she play games? And I said, you wouldn't believe it if you saw it. She plays Mortal Kombat. In fact, I actually called the game out.
yeah.
And Brenda's pretty amazed at what you do, and she's said something to the effect. I wish I could remember exactly how she phrased it. She said, that's the way you're supposed to be blind, but she was trying to give you a compliment.
I
She
know
said
exactly what she meant too.
she's you're doing it right. You got kind of dealt a tough hand, and you're playing it like a royal flush. So good on you, girl. That's my wife is a you have never met a tougher crowd. You have never, that's a tough person to impress. That is a hard bitten nurse.
Yeah.
I've told you her story.
Yeah.
That's an impressive person to uh, uh, impress that way. So that's a feather in your cap, my friend. So anyway, you you correctly called out Will Smith
Oh. I was just
ruining.
I was just looking at Twitter this morning and just I see I think it was New Fate 26
Yeah,
quote tweet.
yeah,
And I'm like, I may as well just take a listen to this video.
yeah.
Like I can't comment if I don't listen, right? So I take a listen and I got through about maybe 20 seconds
Yeah, before you started screaming, no,
before
no, no.
before I just had to turn it off
Oh, I know.
because it was he wasn't even singing. He was shouting in melody.
Right.
It
Tonal shouting is
tonal shouting, yes.
yeah. That's kind of what that was. This is Will Smith, and he's singing the introduction of Aladdin as
As
Aladdin.
Prince
eh,
Ali.
Prince Ali. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, as Prince Ali enters the um, it.
It's the I think he's in the bazaar, is it?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's the parade in front of the Sultan and his daughter and
Right.
all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, and that's the purpose of the scene. So, and there's dancing elephants and it's choreographed. It's supposed to be like a Busby Berkeley without the swimming pool type stuff. So it could have been good. Could have been good had they gotten if they had someone who could sing. But Will Smith, we find out, cannot sing. Not only can he not sing, he can't even try to sing.
No.
He couldn't even make a good attempt. This is not even a good attempt, folks. And the hilarious thing is that everybody in Hollywood, all the critics are going to say, "Oh, the emperor has such fine clothes on." They're going to say, "What a wonderful voice he has!
Well, and
What an amazing sound! Really was wasted. Should have gone into opera
I honestly would have been okay if they had let him rap.
or voice dubbed."
Yeah,
They could have dubbed in somebody with a similar sounding voice, but a deeper, more full voice that can hit notes, that can actually hit notes, and that can sing lyrics. I mean, he's not really singing. It's exactly as you said. He's yelling. He's yelling on a tone.
like when he gets to the line, I can't remember but it ends with pottery.
Yeah.
The his voice cracks
Yes. Oh, I know.
because he can't hit the high G note.
Oh, that was a bad moment. That was hard for me to not turn it off. I made it through that.
That's why I had to go on YouTube and find the Robin Williams version
I had to,
and put it out on Twitter. Just
I had to power. I had to power through, but I did power through that, and I made it
oh
through to the end of it, just shaking my head and realizing that this guy is ruining a classic. And okay, Robin Williams he's not a tough act to follow. He's an impossible act to follow.
yeah,
You cannot do a better job than what he did. You can't. When I heard anybody was going to try and redo the genie,
yeah.
can't be done.
When I heard that they were gonna do Aladdin again, like a live
Yeah,
action Aladdin, I'm like, nope,
yeah. Nope, nope, nope,
you
nope,
can't
nope.
because the guy who did the genie is dead, and can't nobody do genie like Robin Williams.
Bingo.
Did you watch Return of Jafar when they got that other guy? I can't even remember who did the genie in Return of Jafar, but it wasn't Robin Williams, and it was awful.
And that's the guy's name now, not Robin
Yeah,
Williams.
not Robin Williams, exactly.
So yeah,
And then Robin Williams came back for Aladdin 3, King of Thieves,
Robin
as the
Williams.
genie.
He just was, even when the writing wasn't particularly good, he was amazing. He just made it better than it should have been. And but the original, the first Aladdin, Ain't Never Had a Friend Like Me, that's one of the best set pieces of musical theater I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I, I period dot, changed my mind. So anyway,
Yeah, Pinkalo brings up a good point. He says you've got to remember about 90% of what the genie lines were for Robin Williams was improv.
yeah, it was that
Robin
absolutely.
or Will Smith was written for, which is absolutely true.
That's absolutely true, but it doesn't change the goodness or lack of goodness of the product. It doesn't matter why the product is bad. What Will Smith did is bad. What he
Yeah.
produced was bad. Is bad. It doesn't matter why it's bad.
Yeah.
It just is, and it's not. This is an important point and may relate to what Pinkal was saying a little bit. It's not just that it's worse than it's not up to the standards of Robin Williams, which was just an impossibly high standard. I mean,
Yeah.
that was an amazing piece of theater, really, that Robin Williams did. But it's not even good. It's not even average. It's not even acceptable. Uh,
None of the Disney movies of today are of the same caliber
you know,
as they were in the 90s and the 80s and
like Jungle Book.
yeah,
Jungle Book that kicked ass. I
the
love that.
Disney Jungle Book from like what was that? The 80s or the early
Yeah, that was
90s?
yeah, like in 1988 or 90 or
Yeah, just
something.
before I think it was just before I was born or either just before or just after.
Yeah,
Um but like the Disney's Jungle Book from that era, like
those are,
the original Lion King.
yes, yes. Oh,
Yes, our teeth and ambitions are bared. Be prepared. Like, come on. How do you not love that song? Like,
Absolutely.
oh my god. Or what was it?
Just give me the power of man blood. I want to be like
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
I love that song.
Or
It's a great
even
number.
even lesser known things like The Fox and the Hound.
Yes, Fox the Hound. There were those those were that was craftsmanship, and now it's just like um, showboating and making sure certain stars get to have their egotistical turn. I mean, this was a big ego trip, and that's the other thing is the and the visual characteristic that I got from watching Will Smith. He's just mugging for the camera. You could probably hear that through what he was doing. He's not acting. He's not projecting.
Yeah, he's
He's
just
just
like,
being.
I'm here
I'm Will.
being the genie. I'm Will Smith.
I'm Will
Hi.
Smith. I'm being Will Smith.
Yeah.
Look here. I'm Will Smith. I'm dressed up like the genie, but I'm Will Smith.
Yeah.
Anyway. It's not entertaining at all.
No, it's not.
I'm not only staying away. I mean, that's a mental health issue.
Oh, I
I would
refuse.
have that's years of counseling if
I've
we had to
already
watch that.
said Pincalo and I have both agreed our sons are not watching this
No,
Aladdin.
no,
They
no,
can
no.
watch the original Aladdin.
Absolutely, they should. That should be required watching. That's part
Absolutely.
of a good childhood. Good lord, yeah. That's So anyway, Alibaba had them 43. Scheherazade had 1,000 tales.
Phenomenal cosmic power. Itty bitty living
living space.
space. Like, like, you cannot compete with that.
No, absolutely. And we are sitting here and just ignoring the people in chat
Yes, poor
terribly,
chat. We
so
have
let me say hello to Blake Hanley, who was the early bird who
they
caught the
yes,
worm. And he proudly proclaimed that. I wanted to give props to Blake for being the first. I think he was also the first
probably. Green
function.
Badger Outdoors is here.
Yeah, functional is here, and Shady Grin is here.
Yep.
Shady, nice to see
Hi,
you, bud.
Shady.
Thanks for
Irate.
dropping by, man.
Irate's here.
All right, of course, my brother.
Let's
Furry
see.
Kitten is here. So is Calvic.
Check Your Logic is here. Nothing For You Here is also here. Moonshock is here. Hi,
Yep.
buddy.
All You Need is here, and so is Duck Dog and Rolling Bear. Arva, Costa, Moonshock. I mean, all our friends are here. Yay! It's so good.
We've got lots of people here. It's great.
Volorusk.
Donkey.
The donkey. He's got the blind and the senile. Hey, good day. Good day, eh? Beauty. My terrible Great White North imitation. Take
Moonshock
off.
Moonshock says the best part of Aladdin is when the genie getting pissed that Aladdin doubts his powers, and then says, "You're getting your wishes now. Sit down."
you know, it actually nothing for you here has a great insight. I think I don't see why Disney just isn't re-releasing their old films again. They'd make a lot more money that way. Yeah,
Yep.
and they would bring a whole new generation to their classic films. That's the thing. Would would today's generation appreciate the old stuff the way that you and I appreciated it?
Probably not.
I wonder. I I hope they would. It seems like they should, but my my fine sense of pessimism says negative. You know, I don't know. I don't know.
Wait till they try a live action Shrek. Oh, good lord. Zombie Teddy. Or Calvic AD. Why would you say that? Why would you wish that on us?
Kill me. You know, Donkey says most modern Disney can't even live up to a 1990s direct-to-DVD sequels.
Nope.
Yeah, boy, that's an indictment. He's not wrong though.
Hey, Adrian Blum, nice to see you here.
Pink
They
Hollow.
couldn't re-release Dumbo. No, they couldn't actually.
That's true. Free Dumbo. No, I'm sorry. I had to make that joke. Anyway, Pincalo says the Brandon Lee Jungle Book is the one you guys are talking about, and that was the best live action Jungle Book, and they'll never bring it back.
Nope.
And nothing for you here says Scar is my spirit animal.
Scar is the freaking Scar and the hyenas. They're amazing, and they're not even in the freaking live action Lion King.
I know. What's up with that?
And they took out the song "Be Prepared" because I think it symbolizes like Nazism or something. They say it symbolizes Nazism or something like that.
What the hell did they do to Lion King? Just if we can go down that road for a minute with the.
I'm too scared to find out. I just all I'm picturing is the movie starts. Mufasa shows Simba the Pride Lands.
Yeah.
Mufasa grows old. Simba takes over, and happy ending. That's what I see.
That's and white men are bad.
And white men are bad. Yes.
Yeah. Don't forget that. It's very important. Let's see. Zombie Teddy says Blind Press. They already did a live action Shrek. Came out Shriek. I love autocorrect. It was a play, but technically live action. So I guess he's talking about there was some kind of
I think they
Broadway play or something, or what?
They did a whole bunch of Shreks, so they may have done a live action.
Okay.
Because they did Shrek, Shrek 2, Shrek the Third,
yeah,
Shrek the Halls.
Yeah. The Shrek that ate Cincinnati.
Shrek 2 was funny. And then after that, no.
Yeah, I actually sort of thought I sort of like Shrek 2. So
I like Shrek 2 mostly because Eddie Murphy and Antonio Banderas played very
exactly. Well. That's exactly right. I like Eddie Murphy. Let's see. Irate Prostate reminds us of Uncle Remus.
Ah, yes.
I think he might be thinking of the porn, knowing him, but you never know. But that's
so
Uncle
I've got
Remus.
a couple of
anyway.
I've got a couple of news articles that I'm going to retrieve at the moment.
Okay.
Some of them will make us giggle. One of them will make us rage. So,
I have cheerful, strange news.
Good.
To pepper in, so we can soothe it with the balm of strangeness.
Yeah, we're gonna need it because there's a Canadian article here that I've grabbed that is absolutely ridiculous.
Welcome, Goatman. Nice to see you.
Let's see here. Let's get the stupid and angering out of the way.
All right. Check Your Logic says this is my first time here. What's this about? We're figuring that out ourselves.
This is about coffee, drinking coffee, talking about news, talking about whatever happens to come up that we've found either on Twitter or,
We also kind of carry forward the Minions of the Zoo characteristic that we involve chat quite a bit.
Yes.
So if you're here, be prepared to, we hope you'll be prepared and will want to participate with us. Irate says, I'm Shrek without the jaundice.
Shrek without the jaundice.
God.
So, this article is called Tori Stafford's Killer Demands Compensation for Transfer Back to Prison from Healing Lodge.
Because you do. Sure.
So, Tori Stafford, to give you guys a bit of background information, because this is an Ontario from my province, from about 2012, I believe. So Tori Stafford was a little girl. She was 8. And this piece of shit that we're about to read about and her boyfriend uh kidnapped and did awful things to her before killing her. And this piece of shit got a transfer from the prison that she had been sentenced to serve her time in. She managed to finagle a transfer to a native healing lodge. That lasted about, I think, a week and a half before the lodge, I guess, was sick of all the pushback from the public going, why the hell is she here? um, and she was sent to a prison in Alberta for about a month before being transferred back to the original women's prison she was sent to. She is now seeking compensation for that transfer.
All right, now this creature was moved to the Okinawa Healing Lodge in, says, Saskatchewan,
Yes,
run
Saskatchewan.
run by Correctional Service of Canada.
Yeah.
She was granted the move as an Aboriginal,
Yeah, she's claiming native status
but
and
whether she is actually Aboriginal has not been confirmed and has been disputed by a family member.
yeah.
The lodge, a minimum to medium security prison, is unfenced but is monitored 24 hours a day with video cameras.
Yeah, but
So
she's a
that,
child rapist and killer and she
so what could possibly go wrong?
yeah.
Uh, so Trudeau faced increased scrutiny for acknowledging he did not have the right to return McClintock to a maximum security prison, since that falls with Commissioner of Correctional Services, the CPC. Okay, so somebody in Parliament introduces a motion to condemn and overturn the decision. They debated it and it was defeated, with all the Liberal members of Parliament voting against it. Under increasing public pressure, I'm just trying to understand this.
Yeah.
The Minister of Public Safety, Ralph Goodale, issued an order for Correctional Service Canada to review the decision and the general policy. On November 7th, Goodale announced that this creature, I'm not going to use its name,
No.
would be returned to federal prison and regulations would be made stricter for transferring long-term prisoners to healing lodges. She was transferred to the It was transferred to the multi-level Edmonton Institution for Women, which has a maximum security wing. Why was this creature sent to a healing lodge for
And
Aboriginals?
because she said, I'm a native and I'm depressed. I need to go to the sweat lodge.
Okay,
And they
why?
said, okay.
After your sentence is served, you can go then. That's when you get to go, right? That's how prison works. You serve the sentence, then you get to do stuff again. That's why they call it prison, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the way it works in Texas. No? That's not the way it works in Trudeau land? What the fuck? Seriously. Seriously.
So
This
this article that
this
I
woman, this creature,
yeah.
this hateful.
Oh, she is a hateful piece of crap. And her lawyers actually tried to claim that she was a battered woman and
I
that she
think
was
that
just
should be arranged.
that she was just going along with what her boyfriend wanted.
Was the boyfriend in on this?
Oh yeah, they both did it. He's serving time in a different I think he's in Millhaven in up in Kingston, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Is I'm
So
I'm just
So
I'm
while
I'm
you look that
I'm
up,
I'm just reading about the murder. I'm
yeah,
sorry, it just takes your breath away.
it
I'm not going to detail it
yeah,
because
no,
it's just
you
too horrifying.
yeah, it is
Uh,
horrifying.
but this creature, the male creature,
Yeah.
it was convicted of first degree murder,
Yes.
and it has basically gone away. Let's see. He 4 days later. Okay, he's in life in prison, and his first chance for parole is in 25 years.
Yeah.
So in 2037, he comes up for parole. I hope to God everybody remembers how he did what he did. You can look this up and find out the details. I'm not going to speak the words. It's
Yeah. If you have a strong stomach,
it's
and you are
um,
and if you're curious, look up the Tory Stafford case. Um,
these people. I mean, we have a procedure for this for folks like this in Texas.
this is one of the cases that makes Pincalo say this is why I still want the death penalty in Canada,
Oh,
which
absolutely.
we only abolished it in the 60s.
Oh, I know.
It hasn't been very long since the Canadian justice system got rid of
This
got rid of
this is actually why I favor having not only the death penalty but having impalement as an option.
yeah.
These people should suffer. I mean, it should. You know, I don't really believe in torturing people to death, but I do think that these people should have a very unpleasant long period of time in their life, leading up to a time an unsurvivable exercise.
So anyways, this
Uh,
she's claiming legal action against the federal government for transferring her back to federal prison.
and the basis of that is what? What is the how was she harmed illegally by the federal government? What right was denied her by the federal government?
Uh, it says the application by this piece of crap says lists the Correctional Service of Canada, the Department of Justice, Public Safety Canada, and the wardens of the Healing Lodge and of the Women's Prison Grand Valley as respondents. It claims that uh, creature woman was abuse of liberty by being returned to prison.
I'm afraid I don't understand that.
Uh, suffered a loss of liberty by being returned to prison. Court of Queen's Bench of Alberta Justice John T. Henderson was asked to rule on whether the transfer was lawful and, if not, whether the compensation this creature should receive, what compensation this creature should receive if it's not lawful. He put this creature's application on hold, giving her 14 days to explain why the case should be heard in Alberta, given she is currently in an Ontario prison, and why it should proceed at all, given she has not provided any facts to back up her claim of loss of liberty. Yeah. And
I'm, you know,
it,
this isn't a good thing on a stream. I'm speechless.
yeah.
I have I have nothing to add other than just I guess it's a good thing that we take so seriously the rights of the accused of people who are in jail. We care about them so much that it prevents real abuse, because you can have abuse of people's rights who are put in jail, and that's a bad thing. I mean,
Yeah.
you can. I don't believe. I truly don't believe in torturing people who've done something wrong, who have committed a crime, who are weak morally, and took action in that regard, got caught. And,
And she
there's
pled guilty.
yeah,
She didn't even try to, like, she straight up pled guilty.
yeah. I would have just uh, you know
This makes me sad. Yeah, let's find a funny thing to balance this out with.
I boy I just need some brainwash after that. That's just uh whew. Anyway, there you go. There you go.
See,
There you go.
Canada has our, as Pincalo said, we don't have very many bad people, but the ones we do have,
They're world class.
holy fuck.
World
Like
world class.
like
Seriously.
uh like Robert Picton, the pig farmer who killed, I think it was something like 50 prostitutes and fed them to his pigs. Oh yeah, he's
Oh
still in
my
jail.
god. Oh my god.
Yeah, he's still serving his
Oh,
sentence.
blind press. I'm having an RL thing.
No worries.
I'm gonna have to just go to the door.
No worries. I will talk to chat and I will find something to amuse us with. Let's see. What's next here? John Gameshi. Yeah, him too. Um Homolka, yeah. She has a fan club. Yuzi just read the details to me. Holy fuck. Yeah. Yeah. When the dog bites someone, we put it down. When the monster kills someone, we put it in jail. And pats its, the government puts its bleh. The government puts it in jail and pats its back. Yeah. Who was the guy who sent hate mail to liberal and conservative candidates in 2015? Oh, I think I know who you're talking about, but I cannot remember the name. I watch Minecraft videos because of news like that. Yeah. Let's see here. So I read you guys a thing about the WhatsApp hack yesterday. So this is called the WhatsApp hack and what you can do to protect yourself online.
Sorry about that.
Hello.
Hey, sorry about that.
No worries.
Anyway,
Did you get a package?
no, it was it's kind of an interesting moment. In fact, I'll share it with you all. We've had some terrible thunderstorms around here, high winds and thunderstorms. So the roofing guys all come around after something like that.
Oh.
And they go door to door and say, "Hey, can we do an estimate on your roof? You can probably get a new roof for free, through your insurance and so forth. We'll handle everything. You
Oh,
get a new
okay.
roof out of it. We'll even file all your documents and blah blah blah."
I've seen people's court cases for things like that.
The guy was a little bit taken aback because when I answer my door, if I don't take the time to kind of do a little look around to see who's at the door, I carry a gun to the door. So I pulled open the door and I had my rather impressive Glock 9mm in my hand, and I said yes. and he said, "We're just here. Just wanted to ask you about your roof, sir."
Oh God.
You might have some damage on your roof. And I said, I'm not interested. Thanks very much.
See, that's something like especially now because I would never have thought like when I was growing up here, I would never have like thought of wanting to carry a gun.
Yeah.
Um
What you
but
the
there's a there's
problem
a
is you open the door and it's two guys with face tattoos and they've got guns.
yeah.
And they're just ready to open up and you got to be ready to go bang bang bang. And I
Mhm.
mean my gun is locked and cocked. Safety's off, it's ready to fire. It's pointed at the floor, but
Yeah.
I can have rounds in two people through the glass, it's a glassed in screen door in in less than 2/10 of a second.
Yeah.
Guaranteed, good person stopping shooting, and I'll do it quickly. It will happen if I see guns in their hands and they bring them up in a threatening manner. The law in Texas is very generous to homeowners.
Irate's like aim, 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 get the fuck back.
No, there's
Oh.
no time. That's the thing. People think, well, there'll be time for conversation.
No,
You
he's
can.
he's making a Worski joke.
Oh,
Right?
okay. That whole business with
Yeah.
that stupidity with the guns playing around. Andy
So
Worski. Wow, what a
I
long
found
call.
a follow-up story to the WhatsApp thing I read yesterday.
Let's hear it.
So this says uh, roughly 1.5 billion people who thought their private messages were secure woke up to troubling headlines Tuesday. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
WhatsApp, the popular encrypted messaging service owned by Facebook, acknowledged that it had been targeted by an advanced cyber actor. A security flaw allowed that actor to install software on their target's phones, giving it access to location data, private messages, and other information.
Nice.
Yeah, awesome, right? WhatsApp, the encrypted messaging service owned by Facebook, acknowledged that a security flaw acknowledged that hackers were able to install security software on their phones or mobile phones. So then it goes on to say, um, sorry, damn it, I just got hit with a fucking paywall. It won't let me read the rest of the fucking article.
Huh.
Bastards.
This is the. Let me see if I can.
Stupid Toronto Star.
WhatsApp. All right. See if I'm gonna go get the Reuters and let's see.
Yeah, you
All
never
right.
get paywalls with Reuters.
Now, WhatsApp said on Tuesday that a security breach on its messaging app had signs of coming from a government using sur- surveillance technology developed by a private company and may have targeted human rights groups. WhatsApp, a unit of Facebook, said it notified U.S. Department of Justice to help with an investigation, and it encouraged all WhatsApp users to update to the latest version of the app where the breach has been fixed. WhatsApp, one of the world's most popular messaging tools, is used by 1.5 billion people monthly. It's touted, it supposedly has a high level of security and privacy, blah, 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 blah. The messages are on the platform are encrypted end to end so that WhatsApp and third parties cannot read or listen to them. The company said that it's still investigating the breach, but believed only a select number of users were targeted through this vulnerability by an advanced cyber actor. WhatsApp said its advice to all users to update came out of an abundance of caution and a recommendation by Citizen Lab, a research group at the University of Toronto, that it notified about the vulnerability before the announcement. It did not disclose how many users were affected. A technical advisory published on Facebook's security website said the vulnerability affected both Android and iPhones. A WhatsApp spokesman said the attack was sophisticated and had all the hallmarks of a private company working with governments on surveillance. Looking at you, Russia, or maybe China.
No, yesterday's article blamed Israel.
Of course they did.
Because they said, "Oh, the NSO is Israeli." So,
well, it said WhatsApp told human rights groups it believed the spyware was developed by Israeli cyber surveillance company NSO Group, best known for its mobile hacking tools. But that just means the tool was developed by the Israeli company. They said they believed that it was NSO Group, but they couched it in very careful terms with many caveats because attribution is hard.
mm,
And I think they're also saying that that's the tool that was used. They're not absolutely sure who was using that tool.
I gotcha.
So, this Israeli group develops this dandy tool, but the dandy tool gets out there, and China and India and Indonesia and Russia and all these other actors can get a hold of it and use it themselves. I mean, it's
Yeah.
So anyway, all right. NSO, the Israeli company, did not comment on the specific attacks in a statement sent to Reuters. NSO said it would investigate any credible allegations of misuse of its technology. That's interesting. That to me sounds very much like they think they're guilty. They think that it's their stuff. The company said it never picks or identifies targets of its technology, which is solely operated by intelligence and law enforcement agencies. That's what I'm saying. They make tools. People buy their tools. Somebody using their tool, to say that, well, NSO is guilty. No, NSO developed the tool that somebody else used.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is like the argument against guns. Glock made the gun that killed somebody. So
Yeah.
Glock is guilty of murder. No, Glock's not guilty of murder. Glock is just made a gun. Somebody else picked up that gun and killed somebody. It would be the same thing if somebody picked up a hammer and killed somebody with a hammer.
Yeah.
NSO would not or could not use its technology in its own right to target any person or organization, including this individual, according to NSO.
Yeah.
One target of the new WhatsApp exploit was a United Kingdom-based human rights lawyer who spoke on condition of anonymity. He said an attack against him took place on Sunday after WhatsApp issued its update and was not successful. The lawyer had contacted Citizen Lab after receiving previous suspicious WhatsApp calls. The lawyer is helping a Saudi dissident and several Mexican journalists mount civil cases against NSO Group for its alleged role in selling hacking tools to the Saudi and Mexican governments, which they alleged were used to hack into their phones. There are currently 4 known legal cases against the NSO Group, including 3 in Israel and 1 based in Cyprus. NSO is being sued for damages allegedly caused by the sale of its tools. That's so wrong. Which the company says it sells only to law enforcement and intelligence agencies, pursuing legitimate targets such as terrorists and criminals.
Yeah.
Which I guarantee they do. They sell it for a hell of a lot of money.
And the article that because I read this particular article that I just got the paywall for last night on my phone, and apparently this human rights lawyer whose phone was attacked used WhatsApp to communicate with Jamal Khashoggi before he died.
Jamal.
So could it possibly be that his phone is being attacked by somebody connected in that sort of thing. Like
Of course it could.
there are so many things that it could be that, but instead they're going to go after the makers of this product instead of trying to find out which government or intelligence agency
Yeah,
is being clandestine.
yeah. Anyway, that's it. There's some that's the meat of the article. That's essentially what Reuters has got to say about it. Um, a lot of heavy duty stuff.
So
I
you guys get Amber Alerts in the States, right?
Oh yes, absolutely. Are you kidding? Yeah, all the
So
time.
do you guys have them texted to your phones now?
Yes, and you can't turn them off.
You can.
You cannot.
You cannot. Neither can we.
Yeah.
So there was an Amber Alert uh, Monday morning or Tuesday morning at 5 in the morning. Headline I'm about to read to you is not a joke.
Oh boy.
Tempted to call 911 over Amber Alerts? Don't. As in calling to complain about them. I'm not kidding.
People are calling 911 to complain about Amber Alerts.
And by the way, the Toronto police said that because of that Amber Alert, they located the 3-year-old boy that went missing.
That people were complaining about getting the alert.
Yeah. So
Holy shit.
some of the callers, wait, where's the, there's the story. Uh, Toronto police fielded dozens of calls via 911 Tuesday morning that had nothing to do with emergencies. Instead, Alison Douglas Cook, a spokeswoman for the force, says callers rattled off complaints about the early morning Amber Alerts that disrupted their sleep while officers were scrambling to find a missing 3-year-old.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Some of the callers, she says, even asked if they could be removed from the system, which is specifically designed for when a child is thought to be in danger. It was just general complaints expressing their displeasure at the fact that they were woken up for this reason, Douglas Cook said. Once again, our communication center has been receiving numerous calls from citizens using it as a platform to complain about being awakened by the Amber Alert. Yes, this happened. There was an Amber Alert, I think, in March that happened at, I believe, 11:30 at night. And there were people that were complaining about that as well.
That's just wrong. That's wrong to complain about. You can't. I mean, if you're going to be a member of society, you've got to participate.
Yeah.
Um, I don't even know what to say. Just people take themselves way too seriously sometimes.
They really do.
Very sad.
And it's 5 in the morning. Like, you're gonna get up soon anyway.
It
Like,
it
but it doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter if it's 2 in the morning, as far as that's concerned. If there's a chance that somebody somewhere might notice something from being waked up at 2 in the morning that leads to some parent being reunited with a child that otherwise that child is going to be murdered by some cretin. That's 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 worth an awful lot of trouble.
Yeah.
That's worth a lot of inconvenience. Just is. Yeah, you either believe that or you don't.
Yeah.
You know.
Pink Hollow says there's an interesting fact that nobody covers. Both of the kids, the one in March and this one, were found because of the Amber Alert. Yeah,
Right. Right. That's a great point. That's a great point.
because they put out, it's basically an APB texted to your phone, right? They give you
Yeah. Yes.
description.
Exactly.
They
Yeah.
give you description. They give in this one, they even said vehicle, Greyhound, or they said bus. So they told us, okay, so because it was from a city in Northern Ontario down to Toronto. They said the bus was traveling from that city to Toronto. They gave description of the person who took the kid, because in this case they knew. And they gave a description of the kid.
Yep.
And look at that. He was found.
Hooray. What a
But people want to complain, oh, that woke me up at 5 in the morning because it was a loud noise.
Yeah. My privacy. You know what? Fuck your privacy.
Gunfox is here. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Gunny. Well, are you in the mood to hear some silly stories?
I am in the mood to hear some silly stories.
I have located a vein of news of the weird. Sit back, ladies and gentlemen, relax for a moment, and come with me to Florida. Lead story from Florida. This is news of the weird. Police officers in Indialantic, Florida, responded to at least 7 calls about a man disturbing the peace. This was April 7th. So
7 calls for one guy. Holy
yeah. Patrons of Starbucks and Sassy Granny's Smoothies, among others, were startled when 61-year-old Thomas Devaney Lane started yelling, calling himself the Saint, and threatening to unleash his army of turtles, he called it, on the community.
Oh my God.
According to WKMG, Lane went along with an officer to the police station where he screamed at the dispatcher and pounded on the walls, but then left the building. He was located later at a 7-Eleven, verbally assaulting customers. As officers stood by, Lane called 911 and told the dispatcher, "I need to leave now or you will all be sorry you fucked with the Saint." Lane was charged with disturbing the peace, resisting arrest without violence, and misusing an army of turtles.
Very, very saintly language
Very sad.
from the saint.
So I thought I would pass that one along.
And also, what type of turtle? What division would turtles be? Infantry, armored personnel carriers,
What they're probably more like tanks.
tanks.
Yeah, you're probably talking about an armored division
And
there.
what type of turtle? Tortoise.
Yeah, there's painted
Big
turtles,
one.
snappers.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
What
box turtles, there's all different.
Ninja Turtles, Sister of Male. Yes.
So anyway, in other news, this is one of these least competent criminal things that I enjoy. Also, one way to assure a negative response to a job application is to lift a few items from your prospective employer on the way out.
Oh no. Oh
So
dear.
if you're going to apply for a job, it's probably better not to steal stuff on camera on the way out of the place. Okay, so it went for an unnamed 36-year-old man in Gillette, Wyoming, which is a nice little town. I've actually I have camped in Gillette, Wyoming. It's a nice little town way up in northern Wyoming. It's up by Yellowstone. It's very beautiful up there. Who visited a Sportsman's Warehouse on April 24th, where he paid for some items with a rewards card, but also left the store with some bullets and a pair of sunglasses in his pocket. 2 days later, the Gillette News Record reported the man returned and asked to fill out a job application, then walked out with 2 more pairs of sunglasses worth $85. This time, workers called police, who arrested the man and recovered all of the stolen items.
What a dumbass.
What are you thinking? I'll just start. try stealing a little bit, in case I get a job here and I can really start stealing, full time. I don't even know what to
Oh
say.
man, what a
I I don't even know what to say. And let's see. In Here's another news item that caught my eye. And these are just things that are all over the place, but they're just the funniest things that in this list of odd news items that I picked out. And this one is, why spend all that money on a real vacation when you can just fake a trip to an iconic destination? That's the service. This is a real thing too. That's the service offered by Fake a Vacation, a Nebraska company. Of course, it would be Nebraska, a Nebraska company that offers to superimpose you in a photo from a popular vacation spot, such as Las Vegas or the Grand Canyon, for posting on your social media pages, according to UPI. They'll even offer you some fun facts about the place you choose to help you make your trip stories more legit.
what the fuck?
Packages start at $19.99, but there is no word on what it costs to get your dignity or your self-respect back.
Oh my god, why, dude? Is
It's a great time to be alive, is it not?
no kidding. Holy moly. Why wouldn't you just go somewhere? Like
Well,
you don't have to pay thousands of dollars to go on vacation.
I know you just, if you're just a little bit smart about it, you can actually have a vacation and not spend a whole bunch of money. I mean, I'm an expert at that, but
Like we're going to our family cottage for Victoria Day this weekend.
yeah,
Do you think we're gonna spend like anywhere close to $1,000 even?
yeah,
No. No. You just it's gas, it's food for the weekend. And that's pretty much it.
yeah.
And we don't even have to bring that much food because my dad is also coming. And my grandmother loads him up with because he always stops to make sure he's got the keys and stuff and take up some water jugs because we don't have running water up
But
there.
but for people who don't have a cabin or a relative who comes with food, you can or are just too busy and just want to have credit, with a friend.
$20 will buy you
Yeah, exactly.
a
Well, yeah,
fake
great
vacation.
great time in Vegas. Here I am out in front of Circus. Oh my. Anyway, let's see what else happened. Let's see.
I didn't realize Photoshop got so expensive that you needed to start marketing scams in order to pay for it,
Yeah,
says
yeah.
Spinkalo.
There are so many people who are decent at making memes that most people would be competent at doing that by themselves. It's not that much of a service, truly. But this one, this is weird, and yeah. Remember why some of the stuff was dark? This is a dark one. You ready for some dark? Here's some dark meat. Okay, the high price of vanity. Have you ever heard of something called a vampire facial?
No.
Get ready. Strap in, kids.
Oh boy.
A vampire facial is a procedure during which blood is drawn with a needle, okay, then spun to separate the plasma, and then it is injected, wait for it, into the face.
Okay, are you telling me that it's like blood Botox?
Essentially.
Oh, Jesus.
For customers of a spa in the place of my birth, Albuquerque, New Mexico, the most lasting effects may come after a blood test. The state's Department of Health is urging customers of VIP Spa, which closed in September of 2018, wait for it, to undergo HIV testing
Oh, Jesus.
after 2 people tested positive following treatment there. Dr. Dean Bear of the Bear Medical Spa said people should always make sure they're going to a licensed facility for such procedures. Such
Or
procedures.
you should just not do those
Yeah.
procedures.
Or just not behave
Leave
like
your
a
blood
fool.
in your veins.
Right.
It
Yeah.
will go to your face eventually.
Jesus.
And that's how your circulatory system works.
This is just the worst example of what can go wrong, he told KOAT. The spa closed after inspectors found the spa's practices could potentially spread bloodborne infections, including HIV, hepatitis B and C, and other diseases. Holy shit, dude. Really? What?
This is all Charlie Sheen's fault with the fucking tiger's blood thing with his pink hollow.
My God. Why do you do that? What I've got to know a little bit more about this. What is the thing with vampire facials? VAMPIE facial. I know I'm going to get a bunch of porn here.
HIV facial.
Yeah, I know. It's no, it's not Halloween makeup. It's actually one of the latest treatment trends, and it's also known as okay, it's a combination of microdermabrasion followed by application of platelet-rich plasma. Holy shit. And it's a trendy skin care treatment that involves drawing blood from a client's body, placing it in a centrifuge, then reapplying it to the face, supposedly to promote cell renewal. The problem is that they don't clean the hypodermic needles out between patients. That's the problem. And so
just get new needles. Why are you
don't do this.
reusing? No, but
Stop
if you're
doing
gonna
this.
no, but if you're gonna do it, why would you reuse any of the equipment except for the centrifuges? And why would you not sterilize the centrifuge?
Oh my God.
That's just that's basic medical technique.
Do you know what one session costs? Wait for this.
I'm terrified now.
$1,300.
Oh Lord.
Holy crap. The benefits, aside from the novelty of having a Dracula inspired skin treatment done, the benefits of PRP facial, blah, blah, it may stimulate collagen. It may stimulate collagen.
May.
It also results in scar reduction, but it may also cause scar tissue, and it may correct sun damage and minimize fine lines and pores.
Pumpkin Trucker says 45 ACP facials for all.
Man, dude. We have way too much time and money on our hands. That's all I can say. It's just that's a weird thing.
That is a weird thing.
That's just a weird thing. I don't even know what to tell you.
Hashtag placebo, says irate prostate.
Yeah,
Yep.
you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
My blood is basically coffee, says nothing for you here. Same. Coffee, and it's slightly got a green tinge to it, probably.
Yeah, I got a blood in my coffee stream. So, let's see. There was I thought I had one other. No, that was the criminal mischief one. I had another one. Here it is. This one is kind of fun because I lived next door to Cherry Hills Village when I lived in Denver. It's a suburb on the south side of Denver.
Okay.
I used to ride my bike over there. And residents of a particular neighborhood in the Denver suburb of Cherry Hills, this is just kind of a one-liner, just kind of fun, may not have ever known the real name of their subdivision. It definitely did not appear on signs, and I did not know this until I read this. but could be found in the fine print of real estate documents.
Hmm.
Nonetheless, the Cherry Hills Village City Council voted unanimously April 16th to change the neighborhood's name to from its original name, which I will reveal in a second, to Old Cherry Hills.
Okay.
Councilman Dan Sheldon explained that the name uh, came from an uh, uh, an old company name from early in the 20th century,
Hmm.
which had divided the land into plats in that part of Denver. And he said there was nothing wrong with the name at that time. And he said so everybody thought that the Denver Swastika Land Company and calling it Swastika Hills was no problem at all, because swastika was the Sanskrit word for wellness or happiness, and actually the Sanskrit symbol for that's what the swastika that you think of as the Nazi party symbol.
Yeah.
The swastika is the Sanskrit symbol for happiness and health. So it had a very positive connotation until the Nazis took it over in the 30s.
Right.
So anyway, yes, but it's the Swastika Hills. I lived right next door to the Swastika Hills,
That's funny.
and then they finally changed it. Everybody always called it Cherry Hills,
Yeah.
and I never thought twice about it. You know, uh, but and I never heard it called Swastika Hills. Never once.
Well, by that time, it wouldn't have,
That would not
nobody would
flop.
have wanted to,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It was just interesting little thing. So, but yeah, because I had lived next door to it, I just thought I would bring that up.
There's a city close to where I live that had a swastika lane,
Yeah,
like
yes.
a street called Swastika Lane, and there was a big uproar to change the name of it.
It's people find something like that. Everybody wants to show how virtuous they are. In point of fact, we probably just shouldn't even give that stuff the time of day. We just move on. Don't even pay attention to it.
Yeah.
But everybody wants to signal their virtue, and it's almost irresistible. Almost irresistible. So, but anyway, trying to didn't really that was actually all of the news of the weird, but I just wanted to have a little break. We have
Yeah.
we have such serious news on this stream sometimes, and we sit and talk about them and talk and talk, and have a lot of back and forth about the political and cultural aspects of what's going on in the world, and what's going to happen and things like that. I thought it would be fun to have a little bit of absurdist humor.
Well,
And
I
fortunately, there
do
are people out there doing absurd things.
I do thank you for that.
My
So
pleasure.
I have found so this other article I have
Yeah.
is Richmond Hill father and son arrested for explosive device and materials. Now Richmond Hill is a suburb of Toronto.
Okay.
So you can see how like Canada is starting to get we're starting to get really there's a lot more shootings going on in Toronto. We had in my city in the past month, I think we had two or three shootings in a stabbing in just in my region. And this was not stuff that was going on in this part of like back when I was younger, it was like that stuff happened in Montreal sometimes. That stuff happened in Winnipeg. That stuff happened in like East End Vancouver. Um but like and sometimes you had some in Toronto, sometimes you had some problems, but it was nothing like this. It's like it's getting really widespread. So this says a Richmond Hill father and son have been arrested after cops allegedly confiscated allegedly hazardous explosive materials along with an explosive device from a local residence. Last Thursday, York Regional Police began an investigation after receiving information regarding a suspect who is being investigated by United States Customs and Border Protection. Oh, wow. Um, and the Canada Border Services Agency. Um, so detectives executed a search warrant on Friday at a residence on some lane, Larrett Lane, and located a quantity of hazardous explosive materials as well as a detonator device. This is shocking. Shocking, I tell you. Says Jill Garrissey. They have lived there for 6 years and they have always been very nice people. It's always the very nice people.
Yeah.
Um, the family told neighbors they were originally from Iran. I didn't make that up. I promise. It actually says that.
Are you kidding?
Garrissey says
Are you joking?
the father is an electrician who not long ago helped wire up her back deck with lighting. He also he also helped my husband with the fence, she added. We've always had very good relations with him and the whole family. Ontario Provincial Police and the York Regional Police explosive officers entered the residence to ensure the safe removal of the materials. The hazardous materials have been removed, and neighbors were temporarily evacuated as a precaution. That's
What was
pretty.
he going to do with the?
Pardon?
What was he going to do with the explosives?
Well, I don't know. The article continues. Let's see if it says. Still remaining inside one shed on Tuesday were some bottles, tubes, wires, and even a microwave oven. A van in the driveway also has large piles of materials, including wires and switches, consistent with what an electrician might have. However, this author spelt electrician electrion. um,
Why not?
um,
Keep you on your toes.
Another neighbor said, I'm sorry, I can't stop laughing about Electrion. Another neighbor said that they wanted to thank police for taking it so seriously. Well, yeah. We were told to evacuate because there were chemicals and additives possible and they could explode, said a neighbor. It was unnerving. Charged with possession of an explosive device, Herma, somebody, 18,
Impossible.
and Ray Samam something, 47. So in eight,
These are just regular Canadian guys.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just they didn't say whether they were well, they've been here for 6 years at least.
Yeah.
Um
So they're born and raised Canadian.
yeah. It's a bomb threat. Of course they're gonna take it seriously. Yeah, I know, right? That's a stupid. Sometimes I like reading news articles like that just to see what neighbors say, because when people are like unnerved or shocked, they tend to say redundant things, and it's very psychological. Like, it's interesting to me to see what people what people's brains do when they're scared. Like, normally people who are excellent speakers, for example, may just
Yes.
absolutely go to pieces.
Right.
Uh,
You just have absolutely no idea what's going to come out of their mouth. And,
yeah,
they they lose their, their comfort zone, their orientation. And,
yeah.
boy, that's, uh, it makes you wonder, is there a potential for terrorism going on there? I
Well,
mean,
I'm wondering because the both border agencies were looking into this guy. The
why
article said.
why would they be looking into him, do you think?
I'm not sure. But if they got the United States Border Agency and the Canadian Border Services Agency and the Ontario Provincial Police and the York Regional Police involved, there could be a potential for something a little bigger.
I mean, you're talking about, you know, uh, an electrician with a van. That's a guy who can go into a place like a crowded mall
Mm-hmm.
and look like they're right at home, look like they're installing something, have a work order that looks like it's a operational work order, and just be installing a nice big fat bomb right in the middle of the food court and just blow everybody up.
Yep. That's that's some scary shit.
Yeah. Well, it will keep you out of the public spaces, and we shouldn't be afraid to, go out like that. We shouldn't have to fear people like that. Didn't used to be this way. We might have been afraid of other things, but we didn't have to be afraid of. I hate to say it, but foreign-looking people, who whose whose ideology, whose religion promises them happiness and eternal life if they kill us by blowing themselves up.
Mm-hmm.
That's just that's the craziest thing to have to face. That's not a rational thing to have to face. That's a uh, that isn't a way of living. That's a reaction to life that's insane.
Goatman says, but my diversity.
Yeah, fuck diversity, man. Fuck that. That's not diversity. That's murder. So, but anyway, so what else is chat saying? Let's see what they're saying.
Let's see here.
Let's see. Furry Kitten says if your shed doesn't have wires, switches, and random shit in bottles, it isn't a proper shed. You're not wrong, Furry Kitten. I'm with you. My wife and I just took it upon ourselves to just clean the hell out of our garage,
Yeah.
and it's amazing how much crap we threw away. And I'm a lot happier as a result. But we still have, an amazing amount of flammable stuff out there.
Yeah.
It's let's see. Nothing for you here says they would have a heyday if they invested my property. My dad is a retired electromechanical technician, and I play with fire. Okay, alrighty then. And yeah, it's a bomb threat. Yeah, I hear you, arms killer. I got you. So Pumpkin Trucker says, "Do not fear death. Welcome it. Humanity will be better off."
Eh.
I don't know. Have you, Pumpkin Trucker? Were you in the military? I'm curious. If you could reply in chat. If you served in the military? That's an interesting point of view. I would like to know if you served as a soldier or a sailor, airman, because it's you hear that sometimes amongst veterans. But the old man says that's what happens when Irishmen can't drink.
That is gold.
Pumpkin Trucker says they wouldn't accept me, so it looks like he tried to get in.
Mm.
So, all right. So the attitude is not a result of a tour in the military. Do not fear death. Welcome it. I don't know if I welcome it. I don't fear it, but I enjoy my life and enjoy the good things life has to offer. And I sure don't appreciate terrorists who offer to relieve me of my life before I'm ready to relinquish it. So, yeah, there you go. There you go. Had occasion to just this is just kind of a random thing. I was just tooling through the interwebs and had occasion to look up a Ben Shapiro speech. I think it was from a couple of years ago, maybe about a year ago. It
Mm.
was the commencement speech at Liberty University.
Okay.
And let me tell you, he his set speech, everybody kind of has a set speech. It's your classic speech. It states what your values are, what your hot buttons issues are, your classic phrases, all your main stuff crammed into one speech. Most public speakers, guys like Ben Shapiro, have one. His is really worth listening to, and I wanted to get that out there. Is to recommend Ben Shapiro at Liberty University. If you like the conservative oeuvre, if that's your thing,
Mm.
that is one of the best statements of the conservative ideal I have ever heard. I mean,
Okay.
it's classic conservatism. It's not exactly my cup of tea, but as far as getting it stating it well and beautifully, and with a hilarious imitation of Bernie Sanders in the middle of it, absolutely dead perfect imitation of Bernie Sanders. Uh, Out of nowhere in the middle of it, that the students just sit there and interrupt him with an applause for.
Yeah.
It was so good. So anyway,
I like Ben Shapiro.
yeah, Ben Shapiro at Liberty University. So
He's a
anyway,
good talker.
he is a good talker, and don't agree with. I agree with him probably about 70% of the time,
Yeah.
and and a lot of my disagreements with him are profound, but a lot of what he has to say is very valuable. He says it well, and I have a lot of respect for the way he argues things. So I think he's very valuable.
So Pincalo found me a funny Twitter thread
Whoa,
last
what's that?
night.
What?
It starts out with this this woman. I think I've read something from her before. She started the hashtag Ableds are weird.
Ables are weird.
Yes.
Okay.
Um, this one, she says, for my first print article, I got to interview some person, a bunch of Twitter ats, um, on the costs of being disabled, which is a hashtag for Good Company magazine. Get yours now. And let's let's see here. I'm gonna click on the hashtag costs of being disabled. Because I don't think these are monetary costs here. I I want to see what people consider a costs. Let's see here.
So what are you coming up with as far as and oh, where is it that you're pulling this out of?
Uh, Pinkala sent me it's a
It's just
Twitter.
a Twitter thread, just a
Yeah.
okay.
So hold on here.
Who is the tweeter?
Pardon?
Who is the tweeter?
Crutches and Spice is the account.
Crutchins, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah, you can't make this stuff up. Go.
Okay, so here's the first tweet that I found
Yes.
from 22 hours ago. So it's not too it's pretty fresh. So hashtag the costs of being disabled is not being allowed to have savings ever. If you do anything except survive paycheck to paycheck, the government will take your money away, which means no paying off debt, car repair costs, vet bills, anything. It means I better not have any emergencies. Not necessarily true. I know several people who receive only disability and they are quite good at saving. I also know people who are on disability only and can't keep food in their fridge because they'd rather buy Xboxes.
Yeah.
It has nothing to. Okay, I disagree with that. The next one, another one from 22 hours ago. The costs of being hashtag the costs of being disabled for me goes farther beyond the financial issues. What did my hashtag disability cost me? My body and my mind, my degree, my parenthood, my autonomy, my ability to make sure I won't be homeless when I'm elderly and will have proper care. What should be my right to marry? What? Disabled people can't get married?
I didn't know that marriage was a right.
I I didn't know either. I'm
So
pretty didn't what I'm confused.
yeah. Okay, my body and mind, my degree, parenthood, my autonomy, my ability to make sure I won't be homeless when I am elderly and will have proper care, and what should be my right to marry. That's AOFE. So this is the hashtag the cost of being disabled. These are all the people who is who believe that there is a cost to being disabled, and this is what their view of the cost of being
Disabled
disabled
it. Yeah.
is. Okay.
Irate does bring up a point. He says if you live in the U.S. and you have over $5,000 in savings, you get denied SSD. Well, okay, but five. Okay, but having $4,999 in savings is pretty. Like that's you know what I mean? Like that's having savings, right? This person has said that they have no ability whatsoever to obtain savings.
Yeah.
There are other ways you can have savings. You can have silver, you can collect silver. You can have stocks. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to have a bank account with savings in order to have savings.
No, you don't. I mean, we're getting we're trying to regulate things we shouldn't regulate. We're trying to evaluate things we shouldn't evaluate. This is why government needs to step back. Government shouldn't be making these judgments.
No, should you have limits on what you save? No.
No.
Um however, if
Saving.
you're living in a country with so many people, which the US does have, um I can see why welfare systems may need to have some restrictions because that means that there are a lot more people that could need and will need welfare than a smaller country population wise, like, say, Canada.
Yeah.
Car value is included in the assessment stocks. Yeah, I rate it used to be like that here as well. Um, I know what you're saying. Um, and I'm not saying I agree with it. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm saying that I can understand in partial terms why it happens, especially in a country like the US because there are so many people there. Like for a developed nation is what I mean. If you think about developed nations, um the US has a lot of people.
By
I
the way,
know.
I'm looking at a picture of Crutches and Spice.
Uh-huh.
Would it surprise you if I told you she was enormous?
No.
And her bio is Black Girl Magic plus Disabled Pride.
Yeah.
Black Girl Magic plus Disabled Pride. And you've got Crutches and Spice.
I don't think I've ever been proud to be blind.
She's this is victimhood pride. We've brewed this up in our society, and we've created, you know, a perverse kind of pride in disability. It looks like she's wheelchair bound. She's probably disabled from, probably some organic thing to begin with. There's a silhouette of her on crutches, so I guess she can get around on crutches. And But other than that, it's a personal mobility scooter. She certainly seems to have the uh, physique for one. Looks to be on the order of 300 to 400 pounds of lady, and she's got one of those big reinforced scooters. You can't make this stuff up, and that's
Pincalo found there's one, I don't know if it's her, but there's one that actually lists all the medication she's on.
nice.
And half of it is antipsychotics.
Well, sure. Of course, probably a lot of people would recommend this stuff for me.
Um, so I've got another tweet from this thread here. It says, For me, it's not just the cost of hearing aids, batteries, therapy, and missed employment opportunities because of employers believing I can't do the job. It's
Right.
lost time and money. It and being overwhelmed by depression and riddled with anxiety. Hashtag the cost of being disabled is inevitable or
It's
is
immeasurable.
immeasurable.
Yeah, right. Jeez. Yeah, the,
And I can understand being told I can understand the not being employed thing. It does suck.
yeah, it, you know,
But
I,
but you thankfully we live in countries where self-employment is possible.
you know, here is my mind's idea of blind press's post to this hashtag: the cost of being disabled. Huh? I've never thought about it. I got stuff to do. I'll see you later.
Yeah.
What? The cost of what?
This tweet says my wheelchair accessible dorm costs an extra $2,300 than what my able peers pay for their dorm. Because it's probably bigger.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm
Yep.
sorry, but I this is gonna sound really bad. You take up more room. Therefore, the square footage that your dorm is is taking up is going to cost more.
Exactly. Exactly.
I I don't know what to say to you other than that. Like, it sucks that that costs more, but that's not, you have to. Ugh. What do you expect, people? No, there's a lot of these things.
Well, it's stuff like ruined credit because of the medical bills that I couldn't afford to pay. $100 for 30 pills of Tegretol. I don't know what Tegretol is.
I don't know either.
I'm going to find out. I'm going to tell you right.
We divorced to make financial decisions easier. How to give up my van because other expenses were more important. Then I got out less, lost friends, missed weddings and graduations. Isolation is a high price for being disabled.
Yeah.
Why would you get How would getting divorced make financial decisions easier? That doesn't make sense to me.
Say that again.
How would getting divorced make financial decisions easier?
We divorced to make financial decisions easier. We divorced to make financial decisions easier. So when you were married, financial decisions were harder because you had to work things out together. So it was easier because you could just say, I'm just going to do what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an interesting reason for getting divorced. I had to give up my van because other expenses were more important. Then I got out less, lost friends, missed weddings, graduation, isolated. Yeah, but I'm all through this. I see a common theme, and that is a failure to try hard. You know, I got dealt a bad deal,
Mm-hmm.
and now I'm going to stop. Now I'm going to stop trying. And look, bad things are happening. Bad things are happening. It's getting worse. It's getting worse.
Yeah.
And you know, they squeal, they cry, they do everything but do something. They don't
Yep.
do anything about it. They don't make an effort. And the other thing is, if they're ever confronted with a setback, they just fly to pieces.
Yep. Costin says, I got rid of my car because I couldn't afford to get it repaired. That's called responsible decision making. Yep.
Right.
Grillin' Pirate Pete says, more money if there is no partner. Same reason there's a fatherless culture. There's a fatherless culture in welfare communities. Yeah.
Not wrong. That's not wrong at all.
Um, then the next one says hashtag cost of being disabled, losing all of my friendships multiple times because of my illnesses. Either I couldn't hang out enough, if at all, or do enough, or I was just too much effort to be friends with. Then you have a shitty choices in friends.
Yep. Exactly. And you know, uh, make better friends or try harder or do something. But if you're not succeeding, change something. The one thing that you can control is you,
Yep.
and that's the easiest thing to make changes in is you. At the least profitable thing that I've ever seen anyone do is to blame other people for their troubles. You never get anywhere. You'll never solve your troubles. You never solve your problems that way. You'll always have somebody to blame, and if that makes you feel better, I guess that's one way to live. It never worked for me, but
Pinky Hollow says, are these people talking about what it's like being disabled or talking about what it's like getting married? Because it sounds like these are the exact same
oh
problems.
my god, that's a great insight. Actually, it's a really good call. The next thing in this thread is crutches and spice pumping the thread again. I did when I posted the article. So to disabled people, what is the cost of being disabled? Don't forget. Remember, you're Talk about the cost of being disabled.
Yeah.
You know, I wonder if Crutches and Spice has ever thought about what did you learn about yourself from being disabled? What strength did you discover in yourself from being disabled? What thing did you do that you accomplished that as a result from being disabled that you wouldn't have discovered had you not been disabled? I wonder if she's ever had a
Hey,
thought like
that's an
that.
interesting hashtag to try and get going. Strength and disability.
Strength and disability. I just wonder if old Crutch has ever thought that way, and I get the feeling from that self indulgent, pouty face, uh, fat magic, or whatever she said about herself, uh, that she's never had a thought like that. She's you know, for her, any real disability she has is an opportunity to be even more self-indulgent than she already was.
I love dictation sometimes. It Pink Hollows' Crutches and Spice. She's the one who created, and he's. I know what he's trying to say. Ableds are weird, but dictation put it as tables are weird.
Tables are weird. Tables are weird. So there you go. Anyway,
Oh
the next one
man.
is Jeanette. That's the one with the ruined credits for the medical bills and the $100 for 30 pills of Tegretol. Tegretol is actually like Neurontin. It's an anticonvulsant. You
So a
take
seizure med.
seizure med, exactly. If I had a penny for every tear I cried because of being in pain from scoliosis and depression, I'd be a billionaire. Okay. Um,
Pain sucks. It
Pain
really
does suck.
does. I've cried.
Yeah, I've been there. It um,
I've cried because of my back pain. I've cried because I'm not even 30 yet and I feel like I have the back of like
a
somebody.
70-year-old.
Yeah. And I have legit cried because it hurts to play on the floor with my kids and I'm not even 30.
Yeah,
And but you can't keep crying.
yeah,
You've got to like the more like I need to start doing my workouts again because the more I do that, the like and strengthen my core, the less my back hurts.
yeah.
Like there are things you can do. Like my back pain's here. Like it's
Yeah.
never going to go away.
Right.
But I can do things to help it be less awful instead of sitting there and crying and causing a feedback loop of pain because you're sitting there crying and being depressed and not doing anything. So your body gets even more stiff and sore. Trust me, I know I've done it.
Wow.
you just you just can't sit there and cry all the time. Like it's okay to have days where you're like, "Fuck, this sucks."
Yeah.
But then you've got to go, "Okay, I'm done now. Let's carry on." That's I don't know.
I'm looking at other. Um,
I found one. How much money does it really take to stay afloat, if not just alive? That's just the cut. That's a yeah. You don't live on you don't live like a king on disability, but you're not meant to.
yeah.
Like I am very thankful. Like it, I don't get like I get a good amount for disability. I think, and it's I'm able to pay my rent and I'm lucky enough to also live in a country where you get a tax credit um for your children every year, if of course you pay your taxes, right? They don't just give you money if you don't, you know what I mean?
No, I understand.
um but it's you it's not like you live in riches, but you're not, like, disability is money. You're at least getting some money. There is housing, subsidized housing for disabled people. Yes, the waiting list is long, but it's there, right? There is stuff in place. It's I'm not saying it's perfect by any means, but at least we have it. Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. And, you know, you go on, you do the best you can. It's just the cost of being disabled. Um, there's so many things wrong with that hashtag.
It's a negative, like, it's
You know, to to me, a better hashtag is the opportunities I still have.
yeah.
You know, remember I told you about the guy who was he was a motorbike rider and he lost his legs.
Yeah, and then he
Motorbike crash and he became a pilot,
yeah.
serious pilot, and he was had his plane specially equipped so he could fly it with all hand controls. Didn't
And then he crashed and lost his arms.
he crashed, lost his arms, lost his hands up to his forearms, and now he's the mayor of what was he? The mayor of Telluride, Colorado. Last I heard,
Yeah.
and very beloved guy. And and the way that he put it, he said, when I was out riding my motorbikes through the the mountains of Colorado, there were millions of things that I could potentially do. When I lost my legs, they cut it down to maybe a million things that I could do. And when I lost my arms, that maybe cut it down to 100,000 things that I could do. And he said, there were still 100,000 things that I could do, and I never get to all of them. That's a guy who understands life. That's a guy who understands what it is to take life in teeth. And that attitude reminds me so much of you. I'm going to embarrass you and just tell you how what great regard I hold you in. That's your attitude. That's what you do. You just take life in your teeth and say, "Come here, life," and live it. And you 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 live life so much more fully than so many people I know, who are who have supposedly full faculties, but in point of fact, they're much more blind than you are. That's the truth.
Yeah, it's you can't, it's all in the attitude. You can't,
Oh,
like, and I've have I had times where I've felt sorry for myself? Yeah. But the trick is to not get stuck there.
don't get stuck. But and that's true for anybody, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, just because you're sighted doesn't mean you're not going to get the blues, not going to feel hopeless at times, not going to feel like you can't possibly find your way out of whatever hole you think you're in. Uh, the it's I will admit that it's always been a bit hard for me to have much sympathy for the guy who has never worked very hard, is uh, sitting in his parents' basement, and always has plenty of time and attention and energy, for the latest game and stuff like that. But when it comes to getting a job or working or going out and being a responsible adult, doing stuff like that, uh, then they get depressed. They get depressed suddenly.
Mm-hmm.
and uh, they can't get out of that depression. Uh, a friend of my family it is has a son who is going through that. It's just a very difficult time. I guess they just have to work their way through it. It's just kind of a difficult. He's either gonna get the picture or he's not going to get the picture. That nobody is going to do this for him. He's either going to be happy or he's not.
Yeah.
And uh, yeah, the parents don't make it any easier for them, by providing providing that place for him to sit there and be unhappy, because that's what ends up happening is without a nudge out the door, which is really what they need. Yeah, even though it feels unpleasant at the time, that's something that the kid will look back and thank them for.
Yes.
And even if it's, that was the thing where at least for men to a great extent, uh, the military used to offer a if you didn't come from a family that had enough money to send you to college or to set you up in trade or business or whatever, you could social mobility was offered through the military.
Yeah.
That's the way my family did it. My dad was the son of the first person in his family to ever go to college,
Okay.
and his father was the son of somebody who uh, of an Italian farm boy, who came to the United States to kind of seek his fortune and started a sawmill in southern Alabama, and had some sons to help out at the sawmill. And my grandfather went into the army, and he also uh, managed to pay his way through Auburn University and get a forestry degree, and which was very handy in southern Alabama, which has a lot of pine forest down there, timber management, and became a county agent. Also became an officer in the Signal Corps and served in World War One.
Hmm.
Interesting guy, and that was my dad's dad. And then my dad was the first person. I think he was the first person in the history of Baldwin County, that part of Alabama, to attend a service academy in the history of the United States. He was the first one. He went to the Naval Academy.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a good student.
Calvix says my grandmother was a Polish Catholic woman. Um, you would think that, you thought women would be you. That I don't know what that's saying, but he said it that she made his grandmother made him get his first job at 13. He never looked back. Yep.
Let's see, my grandmother was a Polish Catholic woman. You thought wrong that women would bring hell down. Made me get my first job at 13. Never looked back. So
Yeah.
yeah, she was a good influence on him.
Yeah. Kara says my grandmother's last roommate had three jobs and he quit each one after a day due to a mental breakdown. Wow.
Wow, he lasted each job one day.
And then Fairy Kitten says, "When life gives you lemons, make whiskey sours."
That's
That's a good. That's a good idea. Let's see. So, I'm definitely coming on Minions tonight, right?
you are.
So,
I hope
yes,
you are anyway.
yes, I am.
And we have Sanguine is usually working on Wednesday nights, which is why he's never on my show. we are going to be graced by the great man's presence.
All right. Very cool.
So he'll be telling us about his trip to Scotland and Ireland.
Awesome.
So we'll get to hear about that, and then also additionally, if it, basically the next couple of days is going to be the Skepocalypse.
Okay.
I
The
can't say it.
Skepocalypse.
Skepocalypse, but because I'm hosting also for Prospero on Thursday night as
Okay.
well. And so I'm hoping you'll be on again if you can stand it to be on Minions again. I'm hunting up co-hosts.
Yeah, I should be able to make it.
If you
Yeah.
can help me out, help a
No
brother out,
worries.
and we will be having big fun. It's going to be an exhausting week, and that'll be fun because Thursday night that'll prepare me for my interview on Friday morning. I'm going in for a medical screening that I've been
Oh.
waiting for this appointment for a year to be screened to see if I can get on the emergency surgery list. And if I get approved for this emergency surgery, right now it's taking 2 years to have the emergency surgery done, the that I need done, the GI
Wow.
surgery that I need done. So I could get this surgery that is getting rapidly much more uncomfortable done in a couple of years. That would be really cool.
Mm.
And if I get approved to get on the emergency list tomorrow, on
Of
the list
course,
that
you
I'm
can
on,
plug something, irate.
and Irate is plugging what?
You can of
Skepocalypse.
you can of course plug something. Hot takes tomorrow, right, buddy?
Yeah, that's got to be what it is. Furry, I have to say what Furry Kitten said. Skeptageddon.
Skeptageddon. Love it.
Yes, tomorrow hot takes with Irate Prostate, and give us a time.
Oh, it's at 8 p.m. Eastern. That
8
I
p.m.
remember.
Eastern on Irate Prostate channel,
Yeah.
and be there or be square.
Tomorrow is also the early and short day for the coffee stream. So 11:30 a.m. Eastern, 10:30 a.m. Central. And Friday at noon Eastern, I'm joined by Jeff frickin' Holiday.
All right, that's going to be one not to miss because with Jeff's focus on he has a real burr under his saddle about quack medicine, as we all should have, and with Blind Press's history, that's just going to be a fascinating interview. I cannot wait for that.
Oh, Irate says they're doing it an hour early. So 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central tomorrow.
All right. Tomorrow, hot takes with Irate Prostate, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central.
And remember tonight, Minions of the Zoo, 11:30 p.m. Eastern, 10:30 p.m. Central. The link for Minions of the Zoo's channel is in the description of this stream, as well as Skep Talk's Twitter, at Skep Talk at Skeptic Alpha. And remember, tune in tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. I hope everyone has an amazing day and enjoyed the stream. I
Thanks
sure
for
had
having me
fun.
on.
No worries, Skep. I always enjoy having you on.
Thank you, sweetie.
And we'll see everyone tomorrow. Have a great day, guys.
Have a great one, guys. Bye bye.